keep God first. I see evil when I converse. This how God works. Play my position, what is given when I'm concerned. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out. You living boring, I'm gonna set it out. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it out. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it out. Son of God, no, I am not son of man. Let's keep falling, the fingers keep coming in. I got you, but just know I'm
So guys, this is the Oppo RENO 2. This phone is one of those phones that is just a few inches away from being called a full-blown flagship phone. They made one or two changes here and there, which made the price to stay at a particular point, which I'm going to show you on later on in the video. So the Oppo RENO 2 has a design that you'll find on almost every flagship phone. It has a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 coating the back of the phone, and it has a Corning Gorilla Glass 6 coating the front of the phone. It has a seamless design at the back, just like the Vivo V17 Pro that we looked at earlier on here on the channel. It doesn't have a fingerprint sensor at the back. It has an on-screen fingerprint sensor, which is kind of cool. And the frame of the phone is made in aluminum, not plastic like one would have expected. Then every other thing is as you will expect on a mid-range phone of this caliber: a USB-C, a headphone jack, single speaker at the bottom, not stereo speakers. Then at the top of the device you have a selfie camera, a motorized selfie camera which pops up and down, which we are going to look at later on. This phone is actually powered by the Snapdragon 730G chipset, which is a weapon of choice for phones of this caliber. And then you have up to 8 gigs of RAM, and then you can choose between 128GB or 256GB inbuilt memory. The model I have here is a 256GB model. The memory is actually expandable, but it's a hybrid dual SIM tray, so which means if you're using a memory card, you might not be able to use a second SIM card on it. Surprisingly, that Snapdragon 730G handles gaming super well. Like, I was able to get like 6 hours of gaming on this phone, and the temperature level was very much reasonable. One of the reasons why gamers like me always emphasize on the heating level or the temperature level of the phone when we're playing games is because of the fact that gaming tends to put a lot of pressure on the processor of the phone, and if the processor can't handle gaming very much, it begins to overheat. And once it begins to overheat, it can cause a lot of issues, like even the battery of the phone can explode, like I've experienced it once. So having a phone like this that can play games for a very long time without the temperature of the phone going off the roof is an absolute blessing. The software experience of the phone is absolutely normal, there's nothing special about it. But what I discovered about the Color OS, which is a skin that runs on the Android 9 Pie that runs on this device, is that it is very similar to the MIUI from Vivo. Most of the features that are available on the MIUI 11, they are available here on the Color OS. Like digital well-being, for instance, which is my favorite feature of the MIUI 11, is also available on the Color OS.
Top dog, greedy ones get knocked off. I keep looking at the bench like I could never not ball. Coach keep me in the game, Curry deadly with the range. I keep looking in the mirror like, who is he? I'm insane. Who am I? He insane. Guess I am the one to blame.
So let's look at my absolute favorite thing about this phone, which is the display. This display, looking at it just makes me happy, gives me joy. This display is what I call the glory of the gamers. A massive 6.5 inches, teardrop notchless and hole punchless display. The display is coated with a Corning Gorilla Glass 6 as I mentioned earlier on. It's also a 1080 display and it's an AMOLED display, which is one of the reasons that I told you from the beginning of the video that they made one or two changes here and there. If they had gone with an OLED display for this device, it would have been costing almost $1,000 or maybe $1,000 at most. What I found out here is that the experience on watching videos on this phone, playing games, even answering calls, even surfing the web on it is absolutely gorgeous because the display is large. I'm a person that likes large displays, so I don't really mind the size of this display. I really love it, and I love the fact that the display is absolutely naked. There is no notch on it, there is no hole punch, there is nothing. Every other thing is placed elsewhere on the device. The device comes with a 4000 mAh battery. Fast charging is also available at 20 watts. Different color options are available. You get luminous black, you get ocean blue, and for you ladies out there, you can get a sunset pink. In case I forgot to introduce myself before, my name is Kingsley. I'm a certified IT technician. I do tech videos. I talk about technology, how it affects your life, and from every angle.
Plate full, belly too. I hip hop or pop 'em. Anything I could do.
So as you must have already observed, this thing has a pop-up camera system. But the reason I like their pop-up camera system here is that it just looks absolutely different from every other one. I like the fact that it rises one side and then drops back in like that, not just one straight thing popping up. It kind of makes it very beautiful. I don't know. I find it weird and at the same time I like it. So when you switch to the front-facing camera, the camera pops out, you know, it takes about maybe a few milliseconds before the camera system pops out fully, which is really fast considering what is available in the market right now. And as weird as I find this pop-up camera system, I just find myself sometimes open the cameras and I just keep switching to the selfie camera so that this thing just pops out and pops back in, pops out and go back in, pops out and goes back in like that. You know, it just makes me, I don't know. And that front-facing camera is a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. It also has an LED flash, and HDR is also available for the front-facing camera. And then at the back, the camera setup is a quad camera setup. You have a 48 megapixel wide-angle sensor. You have a 13 megapixel telephoto sensor. You have an 8 megapixel ultra wide-angle sensor. And then you have a 2 megapixel macro lens. Now, when you go to the camera menu, you will find every other thing you will find in every device. You get night mode, you get ultra wide-angle mode, and all those other modes. But this camera system has one particular mode that is very interesting, and that is what they call the ultra steady. Now, I tested this thing out and it was amazing. Like when you take videos and you turn on ultra steady, as you're walking or as you're going, the videos tend to be more stable. That is a glorified way of saying it has optical image stabilization anyway, and it works really fine. I found that really useful for shooting handheld videos and all that. But ultra steady is not available on the front-facing camera. It's only available for the rear cameras at the back. So in my usual style, I've taken a lot of pictures with this phone. But what I noticed about the phone is that there seems to be a little bit of a color shift every time I take a picture with the quad cameras at the back, but it's not really pronounced. I can only see it because I have used a lot of phones, or I use phones on a daily basis, so the color shift is not pronounced. It's something that is not a deal breaker. It's absolutely not important, you know, but I just felt like I should mention it for you to know that there's something like that there, you know. This phone takes some of the best pictures I have seen on phones of this caliber. So here are a couple of pictures I took, and I will just allow you go through them. And let me know down in the comments what you actually think about the image quality of this phone and what you think about the phone as a whole as you've seen it, alright? Until the next time, guys, my name is T Kingsley. I will catch you again on the next video I will upload very soon.
You living boring, I'm gonna set it out. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it out. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it out.